So it's very popular to say that Ukraine has one of the largest HIV epidemics in Europe and Central Asia. The precision of that statement fluctuates from year to year, but it is true that the population rate is relatively high. I think relatively is an important word here. The last time I was able to lay hands on an estimate that was really skillfully done, that I trusted, the estimation was actually brought down. So currently, I believe the standard understanding is that 0.8% of the population of Ukraine is currently living with HIV. So that sounds very small compared to, say, most places in North America. That's astonishingly high compared to certain places where the HIV epidemic has been rampant for many decades. That's very, very low. What I think is important to know is that that epidemic has historically been situated in people who use drugs. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. Part of it has to do with the culture of drug use. Part of it has to do with different technologies. Like, it actually does matter what route of transmission you use or what route of consumption you use for drugs. Like the specific syringe actually matters quite a lot when it comes to the risk of spreading bloodborne diseases. But it's important to know that that epidemic has largely been concentrated in people who use drugs. And right now, the driving forces of new HIV infection in Ukraine are injection drug use and sexual contact, especially with people who are involved in the drug sex economy. I believe just recently, heterosexual contact has overtaken injection drug use as the most prominent cause of new HIV infection, but it's still very, very much concentrated in that group. And so that's why a lot of these international organizations were funding programs to provide treatment, to provide methadone and to provide buprenorphine, which are very effective evidence-based medical treatments for opioid use disorder in Ukraine, because the idea is if you meet someone who's interested in treatment and you can get them on treatment and get them stabilized and they're no longer craving or engaging in drug use, then that person is not going to be engaged in disease transmission, right? You're removing them from that network. So the more people you could do that with, the more you're going to slow down the spread of these diseases.